Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal. I just found out yesterday that Aditya Birla Sun Life and Nippon India have filed scheme documents with SEBI for new mid cap and small cap index funds. In fact, um Aditya Birla has filed for for a Nifty small cap 50 index fund. Nippon India for a Nifty small cap 250 index fund. Birla for a Nifty mid cap 150 index fund. Also, Nippon also has filed the same for a Nifty mid cap 150 index fund. In addition, Birla has filed for a Nifty 50 equal weight index fund and Nippon India ETF Nifty IT, that is the information tech companies sectoral index fund. So, why is this kolaveri to launch index fund or ETF after ETF and so on? Um, of course, naturally, the only reason mutual funds do any NFO launch is to get a small spike in in the AUM that will give them more profits and so on. But the problem is that we need distributors to push even index funds. We need distributors to push. I have shown that the case for UTI. For ETFs, even distributors cannot help because there are no commissions involved. So ETF popularity will be even less. It will take a long time for ETF to gain traction, and even only very few ETFs like Nifty Bs, Nifty Bank Bs, and so on. Only few of them where there is heavy trading, the CPSE ETF, they have only gained traction and enough liquidity in India. So there are first of all, why are they doing this? They are the mutual fund houses are exploiting a clause in the SEBI categorization rules which says that only one scheme per category would be permitted except index funds, ETFs, fund of funds, and thematic or sectoral funds. That is the reason why you will see people launching all these ESG funds. Now, ABSL has filed for another ESG fund, DSP has filed for another ESG fund, Quantum has one, Axis has one, I think. The one more was there. So that is the reason why they're doing all this, because under the thematic sector they can have category, they can have any number of funds, and they want to exploit it. Under the index fund or ETF, they can have any number of funds, fund of funds, any number of funds. So they want to first of all exploit it and do and launch any kind of index fund that they can launch. But I mean, why would people choose? There can be 10 Nifty index funds, but people will always try to choose the one with the lowest expense ratio because that is the easiest for people to analyze and immediately choose that. So I mean, I don't understand why AMCs are trying to launch the same kind of funds like others. Maybe it's like fear of missing out. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of herding. I don't know what to call it. The big problem is already these guys have a mid cap and small cap active fund. Now they are launching an index fund. How will they justify the launch of that index fund? I mean, they have to say this is an option given for passive investors. But I mean, when DSP launched its Nifty and Nifty 50, Nifty Next 50 index fund, they said index funds can be chosen because it's very difficult to get alpha. I mean, if a fund house having active fund says you choose index funds, choose my new index fund because it's difficult to get alpha, it's just shabby, and there is a conflict. There will always be a conflict of interest within the organization when they have two different kind of investment mandates, one trying to beat the market, one trying to follow the market, and you claim that be a passive investor because it's difficult to beat the market. So there's always a conflict in the management, and index funds will always be they will not be preferred by the AMC because on the distributors commissions are low, profits will be low. So it just makes no sense. And the other big problem in India is that, with the exception of Quantum and Parak Parik, all other AMCs do not directly interact with the investors. They do so only via their distributors, and because of that, there is no personal connect. And especially when it comes to index funds and passive investing, that kind of personal connect is important for the investors, especially to keep them invested. Because even with index funds, people will only look at past performance and peer comparison. Nifty Next 50 AUM, Nifty Next 50 index AUM went up only because it was doing well. 2017-18, it did well. But now that it has gone down, the performance has gone down from 5 star, it has gone to 3 star. Naturally, AUM has gone down. In fact, there are also redemptions, like I just said. So even in index investing, people are only following peer comparison, and they are so. It is very important for an AMC to be an exclusive index fund or ETF kind of AMC, and then directly interact with the investors. Only then they can have some kind of, I mean, they can justify their stance. And also, why are they launching the same kind of index funds like other people? There's no innovation here. You can launch a hybrid index fund. You can launch an index fund tracking low volatility or quality or multi factors. They don't do that. They do just the same kind of market cap linked indices. It's already the AUM that can be targeted in the passive universe is very small, and you are only going to get a small slice in that AUM if you are going to keep on launching the same kind of funds. It just makes no sense. I don't know if it makes. I don't know why they are doing it. I honestly think that it makes no business sense, because during the launch, the distributors are necessary to give you that spike in AUM in the regular plan. Regular plan of an index fund is stupidity beyond belief. After that, if you want to sustain that AUM, if at all they're interested in doing that, direct investors will have to do it. Direct investors will have to keep pouring money. For that, they have to talk directly to investors. I don't know. We are a long way away from getting significant passive AUM. Older investors may recall there was something called a benchmark mutual fund that had exclusively ETFs. Then they sold it to Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs added one more index fund called the CNX 500 or the Nifty 500 index fund. Then Goldman sold that to Reliance. Then now Reliance has sold it to Nippon India. So I wonder if today, if something like Benchmark or a Vanguard like kind of entities starts operation in India, has a very clear passive investing only mandate, they may be able to do a little bit better with some support from direct plan robo advisory portals. I think they may, with some, if they give themselves 5 years, 10 years to succeed or see some profit, they may do it with some innovative products which will attract investors, because investors are tired of following star ratings, looking at peer comparison. They want good index funds, but they want index funds that will consistently perform, and low cost index funds. For that kind of thing, if you go with a market cap based index like Nifty or Sensex, then only few stocks may be dragging the index up or pulling the index up. If you go with the equal weight index, then during downturns you will have huge risk. Factor based indices or hybrid indices can do better, at least can provide some downside protection and keep investors reasonably happy for a longer period of time, in my opinion, and that's something that they should be going for. Instead of that, AMCs are focusing on actively managed quant funds. In fact, Axis is coming up with another quant fund. That is, I think, in my opinion, wrong, because that the passively managed quant funds, which probably Zerodha may be coming up with when they launch their AMC, is something that would make a big difference in the market. I think at least it will make not a big difference, mean at least it will attract direct investors. AUM wise, I don't know. If you want AUM, then you have to open a bank and push it. That's the only way you get AUM in mutual funds in India. Otherwise, you have to give commissions, and even then that will not work among individual advisors. Not every AMC is successful there, and so on. So that's what I wanted to say. Why this kolaveri to launch index fund after index fund? Is there even a plan here, or is it just fear of missing out? I mean, just worried that others are doing, so let me also do it. Bye bye.